live. Hello there, everyone. It's Jarvin here. Today I'm going to be doing a live video review and commentary on a video that I basically saw a while ago. Released from Airsoft GI regarding the topic of basically COVID killing airsoft, quote unquote. I personally haven't seen the video yet, as you can see on the screen right there on the top left corner. But I haven't seen the video yet, so I will be going into it with a fresh perspective. So whoever basically jumps into the stream can watch the video with me together, and you can hear my live commentary. And just for those who don't know my relationship with Airsoft, I am an Airsoft veteran who has been playing for about over 10 years, since early 2009, so I do go pretty far back. And I feel like the more years that you have on Airsoft, the more mileage that you have and the more experience that you should ideally have. So I like to have my credit go about that far back. And with that, I am also an Airsoft tech. I work exclusively on VSR10 platforms and version 2 gearboxes. So you know that I do know how to tech my own hardware, and I also do custom work for my clients, mostly just on VSR10 and version 2 gearboxes, which basically version 2 gearboxes is what covers a majority of the airsoft market. That's basically all M4s, AR-15s, and some of the new pistol carbines, like the Crytek ARP-15s or ARP-9s. It's like they use all version 2 gearboxes, so I could work on all of those, make them shoot super nice. Of course, nothing quite like Umbrella Armory, but just saying, just to shout out a name there. Personally, I do treat and use airsoft to practice weapons manipulation techniques, to which I find that is applicable to real steel training, because repetition is what really perfects your technique using real firearms too. And airsoft is just simply a cheaper and more, let's say, dynamic way to use it, because in real steel you can't actively point your guns at someone, but you can in airsoft you basically sign a waiver and you can basically play with toy guns and treat it as if you were using a real firearm. Hey Potato Man, it's Jar Jar, what's up? But yeah, if you would like to know more about my personal journey in airsoft, you can either ask me directly on my Discord by typing in exclamation mark Discord on my stream right now, which is I'll demonstrate. So like my Discord will just pop out. You can post your questions in there, or you can simply jump onto my team website at www.citrusrangers.webs.com. I will also put that in the chat if you want to find out a little bit more about me and my adventures in airsoft. And Potato Man says not much. Well, I'm going to be basically doing my little video live review with commentary about airsoft. I hope this topic you'll find it interesting. So I will be jumping into the video, and I'll be stopping from time to time, of course. But with that, let me drop a little quick disclaimer. So I am not affiliated with Airsoft GI, except as a loyal customer who has been shopping there since the beginning of time. And this video is also not sponsored by Airsoft GI, so I don't get anything out of this except for basically me reviewing it and you watching it, and getting a little bit of my intake on the whole subject altogether. And I will be pausing the video from time to time to drop in my comments, just so that the video audio doesn't conflict with my commentary. And Potato Man says, I might. I used to assemble and disassemble actual firearms. And he says, I'm guessing airsoft has a similar anatomy. Sort of. It's very similar. Of course, there's some nuances, but it's mostly the same. Except instead of using mechanics in regular firearms and firing pins and stuff like that, in airsoft it's mostly all motorized, mostly from AEGs, but you know most of the gas, the HPA guns that you can get in airsoft, they work very similar. Can you put a pistol grip on an airsoft rifle? Yes. Yes, potato, you can. I mean, my airsoft rifle's somewhere back there, but yeah. Yes, you can put a pistol grip on an airsoft rifle, but there are still nuances. It's not 100%, but yeah, most of the time, yes, you can. All right, I am going to start this video, and we can watch it together. It's currently going to run about almost an hour, 59 minutes. With commentary, it might last a little longer, but just bear with me, I guess. Here we go.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the second episode of what we are now calling the Dead Box Podcast.
Not yet copyright.
Dead,
Not yet trademarked.
Dead
So
Box is the name we came up with, right?
yeah, it's a tentative name for now.
Yeah, yeah. Now it is. As of now. um, so in today's podcast video, we are going to be talking about how the pandemic COVID-19 has affected the airsoft world.
Oh, it's affected it all right.
Yes, yes. Just different things from product to how it affected us personally. So I think the first thing that we should talk about, I have cliff notes right here.
Wait, but before we get into the meat and potatoes, why don't we all go around introducing ourselves and what we do at GI?
Oh, sure. All right. I guess I will start. My name is Cisco. Some of you might know me as Thick Daddy Cisco. I am.
He's very, very thick. And yes, this is true. We all call him Thick Daddy Cisco. We also call him Negligent Father. We also call him the Filipino Hammer. And yeah, we have a lot of names for him. But I do play with Cisco a lot back in the well, I wouldn't say heyday. I would say like a couple of months before COVID hit. Like we used to play a lot. But I've known Cisco for a while. He's a pretty big dude. Oh great! Don't tell me the audio died. Don't do this to me! What the hell? Okay. What's going on? Why you dead? Alright, let's try it again. Yep, audio's still dead. What the fudge, man? I'm trying to do a stream here and it's just like, nope. Audio's like, nope. You are not going to have your stream. Alright, hold on. Let me fuck around with this a little bit more. Alright, let's try refreshing it. Nope, still no audio. What the hell, man?
The second episode of what we are.
Okay, now it's working. Okay, technical difficulties. Let's get back on track.
Wait, but before we get into the meat and potatoes,
Sorry
why don't we
about
all go around introducing ourselves and what we do at GI?
Oh, sure. All right. I guess I will start. My name is Cisco. Some of you might know me as Thick Daddy Cisco. I am the marketing manager, storefront manager, purchasing.
You are the
shipping.
glue that holds this company together.
Yeah, I do. I work in like every department here, and yes.
Nice. Well, I'm Kevin, also known as the Speedy Boy, and I take pictures. That's it.
He helps out with social media too, and does a little bit of coding on the website.
But mainly pictures.
Mainly the pretty boy.
And I'm Boaz. I am the videographer and the editor of the YouTube channel. I also help manage social media as well as answering DMs. So most of the time, if you guys are going to send us a DM, the first person you're going to talk to is probably going to be me,
Disguised as me.
disguised as him. It's just easier that way.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, so today I'm going to be actively also monitoring our conversation as well as monitoring our audio. So I'll either tell you guys to either speak up or shut up.
Yes. Also, before we get started into the topics, if you want to support the channel, go ahead and head over to Airsoft GI and pick up all your airsoft needs. They got guns, gear, BBs, green gas, all the essentials that you need to get out and play. Supporting them supports us, makes us able to create content like this for you guys to enjoy. Again, this is a podcast style, so this is for you to, tech on a gun or do some homework and just let our soothing voices soothe you. All right, so COVID-19. I think the biggest thing that the pandemic did was, at least in America, restricted a lot of stores from opening, shipping, creating a whole bunch of, or like fulfilling orders is what I'm trying to say. Um, with all of the restrictions of quarantine happening in different areas of the United States, Airsoft GI, we were forced to send a lot of our employees home, but there were a handful of us that stayed behind, risking our own health, and me being one. Boaz is one as well. Kevin, he got to sit at home. Uh, but during the pandemic, I helped out with shipping and trying to bring in product, and we still continued doing videos to keep you guys entertained because we knew that, being stuck at home, after a few days gets really what's the correct word I'm looking for?
Makes you all cabin fever.
Yes.
Cabin fever. That's the word.
When I hear cabin fever, I think of something completely different.
Or like stir crazy.
Yes. Okay. There it is. So yeah. So because of this, we definitely fell behind on orders, as a lot of airsoft companies did, and product became quickly scarce after a few months because
It's true. That's true. I mean, because I work on custom airsoft guns, mostly VSR-10s, and I have. Well, I mean, not really. To be honest, it's like when I ordered some of the inner barrel parts and some extra parts, like they didn't take that long to get to me. I would say at most maybe 5 days. I mean, I know I ordered from Evic, and that took me about 4 to 5 days. Airsoft GI took me about 5 to 6 days. And when I order from shoot this place out in Vegas, I forgot what it's called. It's been a while since I've ordered from them, but it only took like 3 days. So its shipping times vary, which is kind of strange considering Airsoft GI and Evic are both in California, and the Nevada order comes in faster. That's what I kind of find amusing.
everyone was stuck at home, and stimulus checks coming in and stuff. A lot of people were hobby buying, so we did see an increase of airsoft guns being shipped to areas that weren't getting shipped to normally. Because I think it's fair to say that um, specific counties or areas we would see a lot more orders going to because there were active players constantly going out. But then the far corner of Kansas or the middle of Mississippi, we would see orders getting sent there, and I think that's a really good thing because it helped airsoft grow in a sense. Even if people were using airsoft for firearms training, which we've covered on the channel, and just backyard plinking around shooting, like target shooting with friends and family just to pass time. It was a really cool way to get more exposure for airsoft in a sense.
All right, so what a speech that was.
Yeah. So the thing about that is during COVID, I did get a lot of clients who wanted to put in like high rollers, like they would spend I think at least $800 for me to build them a custom VSR-10 sniper rifle. Like I've had two of those orders. I mean, the building itself is expensive because it's just all parts. Like I can't make it any cheaper for you. Like it's just the reality of the parts price. And for the labor fee, like I charge very little. It's like it's very negligible. I should charge more, but I'm a nice guy. But yeah, they would basically have me build them. They're fully decked out like VSR-10 parts, and and they would just be in their backyard, like shooting and plinking targets. I mean, it's really fun. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. Like it's fun. It's just it's not the same as going out to an airsoft field and shooting dynamic moving human targets. I mean, I'm not breaking terms of service by saying this because airsofting is legal, but but it's just not the same. But people have been commissioning to build them custom VSR-10s. They I try to give them the economic package. I try to give them the field package, and I give them the custom decked out package. And usually they always want the sniper rifles that can shoot really far and really accurate. So I'm like, all right, just pick the decked out packet then. But I'm just saying, like all my packages are good. It's just depending on your pricing point and how much you can afford. But the performance is going to be great regardless. So I'm just saying, just not to plug myself there though. And to read what Potato Man says, they sell some parts like bipods and certain sites. Yes, they do. And snoopers are OP. Not so much in airsoft because in airsoft the thing is like it's not a. I mean, airsoft you're not shooting with precision weapons like in real firearms. So like there's no barreling, rifle barreling, but I mean you're shooting like a spherical ball that's getting a backspin to it that can be highly affected by wind. So yeah, there's no rifling in airsoft. Unfortunately, it doesn't work yet because you're not shooting a precision projectile bullet or caliber. You're literally shooting a 6 millimeter plastic BB that's going to be flung around in the wind. But of course, there are mitigating factors in airsoft, like yeah, no pellets. This is not like a pellet gun where you used for hunting small game. This is literally just airsoft. This is like a tube with a piece of rubber inside of the barrel to give it like a little backspin. So it's giving it the Magnus effect, so it stays in the air to counter gravity longer. But I mean, you guys can see those videos on your own time. Like airsoft is still pretty fun. It's like don't get me wrong. Like airsoft rifles can still shoot pretty far. Like I could build sniper rifles, force multipliers instead of gun. No, I'm just gonna call it small arms because that's what I'm used to calling it. But in airsoft terms, we don't call it small arms because then that gets confusing because they're both projectile weapons. So I just call it small arms versus like an airsoft gun. But anyways, for sniper rifles, I could have it shoot as far as like 250 feet, 300 feet, maybe just, and I could push it just a little further out. But I mean, in the end, it's not a precision weapon, so you're not gonna get a lot out of it like 1,000 feet. That's not happening. Owa, 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 owa. There you go, Phoenix. But yeah, what Phoenix says is right. Rifling rotates a bullet and gives it the spin to cut wind drag. That's pretty much it. All right. So I'm gonna have a Q&A basically after the video. So let's tear through this video together.
Cisco, I'm gonna have to ask you to move your mic very close to your mouth because it is a lavalier mic. We are kind of make doing with this setup. Hopefully it'll grow.
My
So
microphone
put that
is a
suppressor near
suppressor.
your mouth. Yeah, there you go.
It's like this.
Okay,
yes.
so why don't we actually? So you covered a lot of topics here, Cisco, about things that generally happen during the pandemic. So one thing that I would like to explore is breaking down sort of like the industry of airsoft and how that works and how exactly COVID was affecting that.
Okay.
So if you guys haven't seen Airsoftology's video about how COVID-19 did affect airsoft, he actually made a pretty good video detailing about how the industry itself works. But to basically reiterate, there are basically three separate, I guess, entities, if you will, in the industry.
Yes.
So you have the retail, which is where most of you guys would go to buy your product.
Yeah, like us,
And
Airsoft,
then-
yeah.
Yeah, and then when you go up, you have distribution or the supply chain. So those are the guys that generally they have huge warehouses that store a lot of goods, not necessarily even airsoft, but just in general. It's big warehouses that store stuff, and they're sort of like the middlemen. So they basically go. So a lot of retailers purchase from the distributors, and then they get shipped. So shipping and distribution, right? So you have the people that are driving or sailing.
Yes.
I don't know.
Shit, yeah.
Cargo ships, airplanes, right? Truck drivers, and these warehouses, and then you have manufacturing, which
Yep.
are the actual factories overseas. So if you guys don't know, airsoft, pretty much like 90% of it is from overseas.
Yes,
Whether it's from
specifically China.
Yeah, China, Taiwan, Japan. Those are like the main big three countries that produce the actual materials for airsoft. And that's also the reason why airsoft products are affordable. They're cheap.
Yep.
It's because it's well, if it were to be made in the U.S., it'd be way, way expensive. So
Definitely.
due to COVID-19, just like all the other countries, including the U.S., right, like working or just going to work for the most part has halted. Especially in these overseas countries, they've been a lot more strict.
Yep.
When it comes to that, so I know in the U.S. most states they did like the essential workers only type of deal, but especially in like China's case, they were far stricter. So a lot of so a lot of the factories, unfortunately, they're forced to shut down, and so nothing was being made. So it wasn't like there was a shortage of like raw material. There wasn't any shortage of like the plastics or the metals.
Yeah.
It's just nobody was really at the factory turning that plastic and metal into airsoft parts or airsoft guns, and so that's the reason why there was kind of that shortage, which is why you guys noticed on your end a lot of retailers, U.S. side, right, they're out of stock. A lot of products is because no products were coming in, and then also even if there were product that was being shipped, no one was really there to ship it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also the warehouse workers or the distribution warehouses and stuff that we work with, right? A lot of these guys, they were also very limited in staff or even staffed at all. So that, unfortunately, that was kind of like the reality during the pandemic. But also now that we're starting to recover from that, you know, like how is the industry recovering, so to say? So in overseas right now, things are starting to pick back up. So factories are starting to churn out product and stuff.
Yep.
Not just airsoft stuff, but like in general, as a country like China's industry. I'm not too familiar on how it works, but from what we've been told is that you know, because airsoft is not considered like a very high priority, like essential thing to be produced, they're, when it comes to allocating raw material to them, they're kind of lower on the priority list.
Yes.
So even now we're still seeing the effects of the pandemic because there's so many other industries that require the same materials as airsoft does.
Yep.
And they're the ones that get the first pick of, you know, the raw material, raw goods.
Yes.
And so unfortunately that kind of sucks. And even right now, shipping right now is very limited in quantity. So we're seeing a lot of they're trying to do a lot of bulk shipments from overseas, but also fewer shipments in general. So even now that's happening. And also we know that some manufacturers and stuff like are starting to airship.
Yes, that has actually recently reopened.
Yeah, so airship their products in bulk, of course. Yeah,
which is more
US.
expensive, by the way.
Yeah, which is more expensive. And even traditional cargo shipping is also getting more expensive. And so with that being said, once it gets to the U.S., it has to clear U.S. customs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that maybe a lot of you guys might not, I guess, kind of take into consideration.
Yes.
But everything that comes into the U.S. from an outside country has to be cleared for customs to make sure that what we're bringing in is legal,
Yes.
or if there's any special taxes. that we
Not
have to
just
pay
us,
on it.
but like the distributors.
Yeah. So basically, the ports right now, especially our local port in California, which is the port of Long Beach, which is actually where we get most of our shipments from.
Yep.
Or the distributors get their shipments from. They're actually very backed up right now. So there are fewer employees working the docks. Which means that there are more. Right, there are gonna be more containers
That need to get
they're,
inspected.
Yeah, lined up. Yeah, and waiting for inspection. So it's going to take some time, which is why some companies like KWA, like they have received shipments that came to the U.S. and currently they're waiting on customs. Same with G&G, like
Yep.
the PCC 45,
Yes.
the CMF 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are all new guns that have actually arrived in the U.S., but they're still awaiting the U.S. government to inspect it, basically.
Yeah.
Which is why there is some delay. I think the unfortunate news, though, when it comes to airsoft, is there may be a price increase because shipping has gotten more expensive.
Well, not only that, but different tariffs
God damn it! I hope the price doesn't fucking increase. Some airsoft guns are already pricey as fuck. We don't need any more increases.
that have happened. We saw a tariff increase in 2020, which caused majority of airsoft products, goods, to slightly increase to compensate for the taxes that the manufacturers have to pay. One thing that I'd like to note to the shipping situation is that early 2020 to mid 2020, manufacturers were still filling orders from their distributors from 2019. Like they had placed orders ahead of time to get them made, get them, secure it and get it shipped out. So when we got restock orders from KWA, G&G, Classic Army, you were seeing products that were already in existence and not too many new products. And that's why when like G&G, for instance, even KWA, like the Ronin T10 or the CMF 16, those both came out middle to like fall-ish, summer to fall-ish of 2020, and they had a decent stock or quantity of it until it sold out. Then it's just, where did it go, right? And because of those back orders from the manufacturer to distributor side, it took more time to make the newer products as well. So then, they have to circling back to the raw materials and the lack of employees. They are just starting to catch up on the demand that has been requested from stores, retailers and stores, the same thing, but distributors and stuff. So
Yeah, so hopefully by fall or winter, hopefully when things, if they do, start to open back up more and we kind of go back to being normal, so to say, hopefully the airsoft industry itself, when it comes to providing products to you guys, hopefully that will be also returning to normal.
yeah, one
One can only hope, right?
thing about like the manufacturers overseas that I'd like to note on is that toward the beginning of the pandemic, majority of manufacturers are in China, some in Hong Kong. And if you don't remember, there was the whole
giant,
I don't know, civil
protest.
war.
Yeah. A lot of civil turmoil.
Yes, exactly. Happened toward the beginning of the year, and that put a halt before COVID even happened. So it is very unfortunate. Some of the companies have relocated and have made do with what they have. And now, since the year has gone by, we have seen more products start to come in, which is really good. Even from the retailer side, we see people, when are you going to get this in stock? When are you going to get this in stock? And it sucks to say when we don't have an ETA for different products, because sometimes we don't know. I talk to KWA.
Yeah, that can
and
suck
G&G,
really bad too.
frequently, and I
And
believe
they don't even know.
Yeah, like I've talked to KWA, and we pre-ordered the T10s and more of the QRF series end of last year, beginning of this year, and they were expecting it like a few months ago, and I think they're now just getting or might be in the process of receiving uh, their inventory. So yeah, just need to talk on that. Kevin, you've been a little quiet. You good over there?
Yeah, Kevin's been quiet.
Oh, okay, all right then. So then, so I'll bring you in with how COVID has affected airsoft locally in terms of the fields, how people can actually go out and play. Um,
Yeah, so at least in my perspective, when airsoft was still under lockdown,
yes.
fields were all closed, obviously. But once they started easing on the restrictions, most of the outdoor fields started opening up because the loophole where COVID doesn't spread if you're outside.
Oh yes, yes.
Not to throw shade or anything, but apparently that's how it was. So when outdoor
That's pretty true because I did work as a referee during COVID at an airsoft field. That was the rationale, and the thing about that is, I don't think a lot of people understand that in airsoft you're actually not very close together. When you're out playing on the field, the minimum engagement distance is 10 feet, so that's almost double the distance required by the CDC, which is 6 feet apart, and you're basically outside the whole time, and you're not close together at all. So the chances of you being within 6 feet are slim to none.
fields started opening up, it was great to see because a lot of outdoor fields were starting to lose a lot of business, obviously, because they make
Yes.
their business when players come and play. So when COVID was affecting them, they had to make up for that. And as soon as the state said, "Hey, you guys can start accepting players," like people were flooding the fields. I'm talking like people were itching to get back on the field, me included. And I'm not even an outdoor player.
This is very true. We got flooded pretty hard. I used to work at Wildlands Airsoft down over by Lake Elsinore. Oh my god, like we got flooded hard. I mean, there were paintballers or airsofters. Shit. Vop asks, are all guns have the same air pressure? So the thing about that is, yes, you are supposed to have. Okay, well, no. Let me rephrase that. All airsoft guns have a limit where you cannot go any further past a certain pressure. For that limit is 400 FPS for all electronic automatic electronic rifles or AEGs, and pistols have much lower tolerance thresholds. So pistols are a little lower than that, but pistols are not allowed to go past 400 FPS either. For HPA guns, you have a limit of the same thing, 400 FPS, and depending on where you play with a sniper rifle bolt action, you can have anywhere up from 450 FPS up to 500 FPS with a joule rating of 2.3 joules. So there's an energy rating and there's a feet per second cap limit. So for let me start over from that. So for AEGs and for gas pistols or for electronic pistols, you have a limit of 400 FPS or 1.5 joules of energy rating. Uh, for sniper rifles, it's either 450 FPS depending on where you play, because the limits are set by the field, up to a total of 500 FPS with a 2.3 joule rating. So I would say 2.3 joule rating is the absolute highest you can go. But there are nuances to that. For example, if you have an automatic electronic gun or rifle, you have automatic features. So like you can basically rapid fire and just have it go like brrr, so a constant stream of BBs. And having that on automatic and you're just like constantly hitting the same spot repeatedly, that can hurt a lot. So that's why they have the FPS pressure limits, so it doesn't break through skin. And for a sniper rifle, the reason why it's a lot higher is because you need that extra energy to basically shoot further, and because it's semi-automatic or if it's bolt action, you don't have automatic features, so you need to have a little bit more energy behind it. So your first shot will be felt. So that's why it's a little bit more allowed to have higher FPS and energy limits on sniper rifles. And like I've been saying earlier, the minimum engagement distances for all electronic guns and pistols is 10 feet. So you have to be at a distance of 10 feet in order to shoot someone. Like, you can't be closer than that. And for sniper rifles, the range is obviously significantly more. So you can't shoot someone with a sniper rifle within 100 feet. Like, you have to be 100 feet away before you can shoot someone with a sniper rifle on the field. And I worked as a referee, so like I had to basically enforce all of these and to make sure everyone was playing within the limits and being safe. And of course, because I also tech on airsoft guns, like I know how to make everything work. So like if you're trying to like fool me with it, then I know what needs to be done to basically to de upgrade your shit. Yeah, here we go. Boop.
Yes.
So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because when COVID happened, it forced me to become an outdoor player, and it opened up a whole new world for me, as you guys can see from previous videos from my outdoor loadout and everything.
Yep.
But also, I think it kind of pushed people to go out and play because they didn't have the option to play during COVID. You know, like Boaz was saying, people were getting stir crazy, cabin fever, whatever. They wanted to go out and actually start playing again. And personally, I know a lot of people that before COVID happened, they were kind of getting burnt out from airsoft. They were kind of losing the flame. They were kind of phasing out. And then after COVID happened and fields started opening back up, I'm starting to see a lot of players that were basically going to quit pre-COVID, come back and like have a renewed flame and interest in airsoft, which is great to see, because you know we need those players to come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Basically, make up for last year's debacle. And now that indoor fields are starting to open up too, people are coming back. Fields are starting to implement new ideas, new ways to rope players back in. So I do think while COVID did have a negative impact overall, there were some positive impacts that were put in play from everything going on.
Speaking about positive, so what did GI do during the pandemic, or to make best of that situation?
Okay, so during the beginning of the pandemic, up until restrictions started to ease off, we had to switch to online sales only. So
Gotta put that mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to be right here. So our stores, unfortunately, were closed down for a little bit, but we continued to have online sales, or like offer online orders, so people can still get their orders shipped out. And then we had like free shipping and coupon codes and stuff to help ease the price for the customer to be able to afford it a little bit better. Then we offered will call in our stores. So if you were local to the area, instead of waiting to get it shipped to you and paying for shipping, you can set your order to will call, and then you could buy it for the regular price, or even with like a discount code, and then you could set it to will call, so you could pick it up and not pay for shipping, and then get your stuff within like 1 to 2 days whenever we were able to fill the order. Now again, we had to restrict the amount of employees that were here because of the restrictions put on by our county. So we had 5 people max during that time, and me included. Like, I was busting ass trying to get orders shipped, pulled, while also trying to juggle us making videos still and managing social media as best as we could. And not only that, we started carrying the PPE products, the personal protective equipment, so gloves.
Yeah, they were giving away PPEs for a while.
The face masks. The face shields, the actual, like, those old Asian visors.
Yeah, and then we also had, like, the hand sanitizer.
The hand sanitizers.
Antiseptic.
Yeah, we also carried toilet paper, if you guys remember. Toilet paper being...
I remember all of this. Airsoft GI was literally giving away face masks and paper, like toilet paper. It was so funny.
For
Oh my
we
goodness.
actually I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, when we all were working at the same time during COVID, people were coming in buying toilet paper.
Yeah, it was a trip. I remember I
was
posted
so
it.
Strange, because we posted it. We were like, you know, we have an excess amount of toilet paper. Like some people kind of need it.
Yeah.
I remember you posted it, and then literally 20 minutes later, some dude walked in. He's like, "Y'all got any toilet paper?" And
For real.
I was like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
This is wild.
I thought
It
that
is
was a trip.
surreal.
Yeah, very, because it was at that point. And if you guys remember, like, I remember going to Stater Brothers. It's a grocery store. I don't know if it's local to California, but I went there the day before they announced the quarantine, and it was stocked, full, complete. And I was very nitpicky with my budget, so I
Oh, I thought you were gonna say nitpicky with your toilet paper.
no, no.
Charmin exclusive.
You know, it's charming. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but you know, I was very like I didn't want to spend too much money on groceries, so I was just like, okay, let me just grab some of the essentials really quick, something to make dinner tonight, and then I'll come back tomorrow and buy more. Yeah, I literally went back the next day. That morning they announced the quarantine, and I got off of work around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and I went straight to the grocery store, and it was cleared out. It was like the business was going out
Oh,
of
yeah.
stock.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I
it was
remember
so
that
crazy
too.
because I was like, it can't be that bad.
It was pretty bad.
Can't be. And then like Top Ramen gone, all
Oh
the
yeah, Top Ramen was
canned
gone. Hand
vegetable
sanitizers.
soups, pastas,
Oh yeah,
rice,
pasta was gone
all
too.
the meats, the vegetables, everything was gone. The only thing that they had left were like shampoos and stuff. It was ridiculous. By the time I got there, all the bottled water was sold out, and they only had the gallons of distilled water, and they were limiting that to one bottle a person. I was like, this is crazy, and you know, it shows that like how unprepared a lot of people are because we live in a time of convenience, right?
You know what's funny though is that inadvertently, like even though everybody was overreacting, Airsoft GI as a business, people were preparing for doomsday. I think
Yes.
what was happening was our biggest sellers during COVID was actually like tech gear.
Yes, that is actually correct. We
Yeah,
sold
we had tons of
Yeah.
shipment coming in from Condor.
Condor, NC Star. We sold like thousands, like maybe even like hundreds of thousands of chest rigs, plate carriers.
And that was also the time that we started carrying actual real body armor, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys actually don't know, under our plate care section, we sell real body armor.
Yes, through Vism. Question.
I remember that.
Maybe I can get a set of plates from Vism so we can test them out. Vism?
Well, they actually have videos online.
Oh, do they
of
really?
them, yeah, actually shooting their plates. Yeah, so I mean, it's not officially NIJ certified, but I mean, tons of companies are not. But hey, we have them. But like, I would consider picking some up just as a backup. Like, if I
That's like
worst case scenario, if I were to like get shot.
That's like the backup to the backup.
Yeah,
to the backup.
Yeah, but
to the back.
But we have it. Yeah, we have it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and so with us offering PPE products both online and available for will call, so you can pick it up. The owners of Airsoft GI were actually just like super cool because they were just like, we need to, because we have access to this. Some of the people and some of the companies like around us don't have access to it, so they donated a whole bunch of supplies to our local sheriff's department and some of the local hospitals out here when there was a shortage. And it was
very kind of them.
crazy. Like, it was really cool that that they did that just to help out and just give back to the community in a way, because those are the people that were helping us. They were keeping us safe. The hospitals directly, anyone that had COVID, they were getting treated as fast as possible, as soon as possible. So really cool for them to offer that. We have back to the cliff notes. Let's talk about the increase of backyard shooting. So as I said before, we saw a spike of sales in 2020 to different places in the U.S. And because people, like, not everyone has access to a field, right? Especially in like the suburbs of America, where it's more like open land, more farm area. They don't have that luxury. So people just started like going out to the forest or backyard, like setting up targets, like what we've been doing. Plinking is the correct term. I think it's really cool because it kind of opened our eyes in a way of just another thing that you could do with airsoft. Because I think we were focused.
Yep, plenty of backyard shooting. Like I said earlier, a lot of people can basically. I mean, I've done a lot of custom work for people wanting to build VSR 10s, and they just go to their backyards and just blink metal.
We were focused on. Yes.
Yeah, so I think what is very interesting, actually, a fact that's very interesting that maybe some of you guys don't know is majority of BB guns, airsoft guns that are sold in the U.S., majority of them do not actually see an airsoft field.
Yep.
So
Surprising.
yeah, so I think it's very interesting that we exist in a niche of a niche market, right, where we have like airsoft in general, and then we're in this niche where we participate in a hobby where we shoot each other.
Yes.
So one thing I would definitely say about quarantine or the pandemic is that, like you said, it did open our eyes.
Yep.
To going back to the basics, shooting cans, shooting targets, whatnot, and I forgot how fun that was.
Yeah.
Like, even if you just get like a couple of buddies, you guys like drink like a 6-pack of soda, or adult beverages if you are of age.
Yes.
And
drink responsibly, kids.
yeah, and kids. And yeah, so after you guys like have your soda, maybe even like you dig up your recycle bin, you pick up like 6 cans or whatnot, you line them up, and then you have like you and a friend kind of like compete against each other to shoot down the cans as fast as possible. Like I forgot how fun that was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that like I've done like even before I started playing at a field, right? Like when I bought my first airsoft gun, it was actually at Airsoft GI. When I was like 13 years old.
A wee lad.
Yeah, and I picked up a tan CM16 Raider, and I would set up cans in my backyard and I'd just shoot them.
Same.
You know what's funny though is that even though people are starting to do that more as just for fun, not shooting each other, it actually like low key bridges the gap between our childhood shooting cans into real steel shooting.
Yes.
When you're an adult.
Very true.
And actually, plinking. Some people, yes, they do it for fun, but others they do plinking. For like training.
Yes.
As an alternative, because as you know, the ammo shortage that is happening right now.
So expensive.
Yeah, ammo is super expensive, but you know what ammo is not expensive? Airsoft.
BB.
Oh, yeah, it kind of reminds me of what Boaz said, is that I picked up my first airsoft gun. It wasn't from Airsoft GI. I picked it up from my EVIC. At the time, it was in San Gabriel. And it was easy for me because my aunt lived right across the street from EVIC. So I just picked up a G&G GR16. Boaz has picked up a CM16, which is very similar, except it's the carbine version. And we just started plinking metal cans, aluminum cans in the backyard, and we eventually went out and started playing at the field. And I think it's the field. I mean, two different experiences, but like you could practice in your backyard, but then the field's like the real thing.
Is
BBs.
5,000 count
Exactly.
for like 10-ish bucks.
So it's interesting to see that even though we did do plinking back in the day, we're starting to do it now, but a little bit more seriously.
Yes, definitely.
As a training tool.
Yes. And I see it from you a little bit more, but I was able to go to a USPSA competition through one of the owners of the distributors out here. He invited me out, and I got to compete against, I think, 90-ish people. And surprisingly, I came in like 70th place. So I wasn't the worst. Not last place. That was the goal. That was the goal, to not be last place. But these guys, they are like crazy good. And the guy that actually came in second place for the whole day, he started out with airsoft.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And he's sponsored by a whole bunch of different companies, but the biggest one that I remember was Terran Tactical. Yeah, it was on his logo. I was talking to him about it. It's so cool because now that I experienced that, I thought, okay, like I tried to do like the dry fire draw repetitions, and then I would shoot cans to see how it would, just a target shoot, work on my muscle movement. And
A really great video to watch is actually from T-Rex Arms. It's on YouTube. Just type in does airsoft translate to real firearms? Louis Botkin basically invites out Liku from Japan, who is I would say, a professional airsoft player. Sounds like an oxymoron, but Liku basically never shot firearms in his life except for airsoft. And boy, if you watch that video, you'll see how a lot of the similar weapons manipulation techniques do apply and cross over between airsoft and real steel. And I personally do shoot real steel as well. I'm also a certified instructor, and you'll see like all the differences, and you'll see it. It's like it makes a lot of sense to train with something cheaper, and then when the real deal comes, then you can use that skill to apply over.
the flow of it. But once you're there and you're in it and you're playing it, it's such a different beast compared to just skirmishes that we normally play. Because
It makes you think though, like the next best like USPSA shooter is probably some kid shooting airsoft.
yeah, I 100% believe that.
100% believe that.
Yeah, I mean Kevin, like, because I was talking to him about it. No, I was talking to him about it, and I believe Kevin would excel in competition shooting, just because he is fundamentally a competitive guy, and as a Speedsoft player, or SpeedQB player, not Speedsofter, sorry, he loves that competition to try to come out on top. And even when we do like the time shootings in the backyard and stuff, he's always putting maximum effort into it versus like
maximum.
Yeah,
Plus ultra.
the chimichangas. But yeah, I see you like even when we're not being serious, you are making the effort to make it a useful time.
Yeah, I will say I do like that aspect of shooting, like the competitive nature, not just shooting each other.
Yes, airsoft.
With airsoft. But yeah, being with the USPSA, it is very, very expensive.
Yes.
So that's why I think I can push myself in airsoft, because I can't do it in real life.
Yes.
It costs a fortune.
Yes.
So that's why anytime I find myself in a situation where I can push myself to the limit and like find ways to improve, like that for me is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I will say that I wish I got started in USPSA years ago when 9mm was like 10 to 15 cents and not.
Was it really that cheap?
Yeah, it was so cheap. You could buy a box of like 50.
No, but you were there because the times that we would go out on our little desert shooting trips, right before the ammo shortage. Yeah, like the ammo was plentiful. Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Well, even at that time, I
mag
think it was
dumping was a-okay back then.
Well, even when we went, I think ammo was like maybe like 20 to 25 cents. Still a little expensive, but now it's like, well, when I bought ammo, I bought like $1,000 worth of ammo. 9mm was at about average across the U.S. was like 50 to 55 cents, and I got it for like 45 or 47 cents. So I came up a little bit, but it was plus P ammo. So still
But
expensive.
now, are you finding yourself practicing more with airsoft? Using your G series pistols.
I have the Elite Force Glock.
The Glock platform. Do you find yourself using it more?
I do, and luckily I have the CO2 one, so it does offer more feedback. Of course, it's nothing like a real firearm, but what I learned, nothing like a real firearm. I haven't shot a airsoft gun that felt like. Oh, I take that back. I haven't shot an airsoft pistol that felt like a real pistol, because I will say
I think the main takeaway here, though, for using airsoft for training is
So Cisco hasn't shot an airsoft pistol that shoots like a real pistol. I would have to kind of one up him on that one. The KLI Baba Yaga CO2 that shoots like a 22 Ruger. So that's if he hasn't shot one that feels like a real pistol, I would say KLI Baba Yaga with CO2 cartridge in it shoots pretty dang close to a 22.
I think it's really cool because personally for me, I do follow a lot of like real gun or like tactical whatever channels and stuff on YouTube or on social media.
T-Rex Arms.
Yeah, and some of these guys are actually like
Tactics.
using and like utilizing or taking advantage of airsoft for training, whether it is to do force on force training or, in my opinion, I think the best way to really train is the fundamentals or the manipulation of the weapons. So
Yes.
because airsoft weapons are pretty much like 1-to-1 scale replicas of the real thing.
Yep.
Right. Like it will still help you practice, be fast at reloading.
Yes.
Malfunctions or pretending to have malfunctions with the airsoft gun.
Yes.
Right. Drawing from retention, drawing from the low ready, high ready. Right. Weapon
Transitions. Yep.
Yeah. So these are all very important things that most people need to know how to do when using a gun well.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I think with airsoft, we're just not at a point there when to a point where we can train for accuracy.
Yes.
Train for like aiming and shooting well. Unfortunately, the technology just isn't there yet. So nothing can really.
Oh, man, my high cap is pretty tuned.
Okay.
This boy.
Yeah, but I will say though, like nothing really will substitute shooting a real gun when it comes to shooting for accuracy. But I think as far as when it comes to understanding the manipulation,
Yes.
And stuff, it's pretty there. Like I will say though the caveat though is because airsoft still is at the end of the day a different thing than shooting real guns. There is ways to like game the system, speed softers. So there are things that you do have to look out for. So one thing that I do to practice at home is, I do get my reps in when I can.
Okay.
When I have the time, I do get my reps in, and I do practice like doing reloads, drawing from retention.
That Bukas Bakken dry fire.
Yeah. But I treat my gun as if my airsoft gun as if it was a real gun. So I understand how a real gun works. So I like even if I have like let's say an AUG and I practice a reload, I always just make it a habit to press that bolt release every time I put in a new mag, stuff like that. And I will say like training force on force and stuff whatnot with airsoft it can be useful, but the unfortunate reality is that the system again can be gamed. Right?
Yes.
Like if you go to an airsoft field, you hide behind a door or something and it'll stop BBs.
Yes.
In real life, like if you stand behind a door, like you're dead.
Yeah, you're blasted through the door.
Yeah.
But not only for weapon manipulation.
Pretty much what I said about practicing weapons manipulation. Everything he just said.
And like fundamentals for safety as well. You can use airsoft as a training tool to show your kids or like siblings or family members to how to operate a firearm safely. With the basic firearm safety rules, it all applies to airsoft 100%. And I think that is one of the bigger like things that kind of gets overlooked, even though it gets talked about. It kind of just falls to deaf ears. But another topic, during the pandemic, you and I were very active, or at least tried to be very active, to keep everyone entertained. And how do you think COVID affected us as a marketing department?
So I think on the creative side, when I first started working here, and also for leading up to the pandemic, the bulk majority of our content were gun reviews.
Yes.
So we'd be highlighting a product, especially like new product that's been coming in. Then with the pandemic, unfortunately, we didn't have that.
Yep.
So actually, having a new gun to talk about was a treat.
Yeah, it was a commodity.
Not a commodity. It was.
I'm sorry, I don't know the definition of commodity. I'm just saying.
It was a very rare commodity. It was a luxury. It was a delight to the senses.
I don't know why I said commodity. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, God. Okay, so yeah, it did force us to be a little bit more creative.
Yes.
So I believe that like some of the first videos that we created were like pandemic style, like
Yeah,
quarantine
loadouts.
style
Yes, I do remember that.
I mean, it was pretty fun. We got to like explore different areas or different kind of like we were able to kind of role play
Yeah,
like an end of the world apocalypse scenario. and
yeah. We all
whatnot.
played different scenarios.
Yeah. Different strategies, which was really cool. You know, I was helping some of the guys kind of come up with or think of
Yep.
different like apocalypse strategies. And yeah, so that was pretty fun. That's also when we started doing roast my build.
I was about to
Actually,
say
yeah, roast my build. So
that was
Oh yeah, Cisco roasted a lot of builds.
the
yeah,
birth.
yeah,
So
which I think it was
it was
really
birthed at
great.
a bad time.
Yeah, it was really great because at the end of the day, we want to put the focus and attention on you guys,
Yeah,
and especially if you guys have a chance to get involved with our content creation. I mean, I think it's amazing.
yeah.
And I think it's something that definitely works because people like watching Cisco suffer. Or watching people
Yes.
suffer
Well,
at his
you know,
expense.
Well, we all know Brendan Herrera, and he has his gun meme review and his Kurt's gun images, and that was kind of our play on it, where our airsoft version of it. And we have always wanted to be more community oriented, right? So we wanted to find ways to get you guys listening, watching, more involved, which is, why we, did that. And it was really cool because you guys took it very well, which is kind of weird. It's both a sadistic and masochistic type of thing where, like, you guys like watching me suffer, but I'm roasting your gun. So I don't know.
It's a give and take. People.
Yeah, it's a give
and take.
It is a give and take. But I will say that because of the lack of new products, the only company really coming out with new products throughout the year was G&G.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it.
Yeah,
but they did it.
They did it. They did it somehow. And but that gave us something to do, like that we do normally, which we still do. We want to provide the correct information for you guys and the information that we have available. And of course, over time, you get more information as the product's being used, some faults of the product, some benefits of the product. And now that 2021 has come around, we're still seeing the lack of new products, but occasionally we are getting something new to show you guys, like the Jag Arms Master Key. We weren't supposed to show you that to you guys because we have no information about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
I'm
Jag,
surprised that we haven't gotten like an angry email yet.
Yeah, Jag, I'm sorry. Please don't sue me. But we wanted to give that to you guys because, like, even us, like, we're fiending to see the latest and greatest, the newest products that companies are trying to come out and renovate. Like, honestly, something that I think we'll say for another day is the Airsoft Innovations shotgun. I want to see that, but we're talking about the pandemic.
Yeah, so I think overall, even coming out of the pandemic and whatnot, and like the hard lockdowns and stuff, like I said before, it did force us to become more creative with our content creation. And honestly, in my as a career like videographer,
Yes,
and stuff, like it is very refreshing for me to like having to think about new ideas, because prior to the pandemic, it was very repetitive. It was very formulaic as to like how we styled our reviews, and it's just gun after gun after gun after gun.
Yes.
And it for me it is a bit fatiguing. So I would say like from like a content creation side, definitely like I was happy that we were able to kind of think outside the box, tinkle outside the tinkle.
As a player, how do you think COVID has affected you?
It hasn't really affected me. It hasn't really. Affected
He
me
has
that
gone
much.
out to play.
I have ever since any airsoft field is open, I will go out and play. I mean, I get to touch airsoft guns like every day for work. I think it's like one of the coolest jobs I've had so far. Is I get paid to touch.
Agree, 100%.
And and so like our local field, Wildlands, they were. I know for a fact that they were shut down for a while, but there have been sporadic moments in time where they would be open. I would be there.
Yeah.
Milsom West also had an event back in, I believe it was like maybe November, like sometime in the maybe fall.
Yeah, like last year.
Last year.
He just got back this past weekend.
And then this past weekend I went to another Milsom West event. So how's it affected me? Not too much. Like I wish I could play more often, but unfortunately, due to my work, and adulting and being an adult. Yeah, like I don't have as much free time anymore.
Yes.
So I definitely do not play as much as I'd like to. But the amount I played during the pandemic hasn't changed.
You know what I think has affected you as a player though?
What?
Is that COVID money. My man has spent so much more money this past year because of the stimulus checks.
All right, let me tell you what I bought. During the pandemic. I have bought Pharaoh Concept Slickster. Okay. I have bought a ton of HSGI tacos. I have bought Tokyo Marui MWS. I have bought a Team 1D X-Fil helmet, like the real one.
The real one.
I have bought the Agilite Tactical Helmet Bridge, which is also very expensive. Who knew? Like some pieces of elastic and Velcro can cost that much.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think you got gypped off with that one. But
I've also bought tons of medical supplies for like real steel shooting because I'm trying to consolidate my kit.
Actually, we should do a tactical gearheads on your new tactical ball.
Oh no, it's coming.
Like his little IFAC is clean. Like I'm about to like replicate it.
So so for me right now, like I'm in this transitioning phase where like I do real steel a lot more often than I did in the past, and so I want to consolidate my kit to where I can use it for both airsoft and real steel, and not really have to change much. So I did buy some like basic like trauma medical supplies just in case, in the off chance that an accident does happen. But anyway, that all cost.
Yeah, sometimes accidents do happen in airsoft. It's always good to have yourself a trauma kit, or at least an IFAC.
Has a ton of money. I bought new lights for like lighting setup.
Yeah, if you see the changing light in the background.
I bought new
nice
lights.
Gucci light.
What else did I buy? I bought a ton of parts for the MWS. Oh my goodness.
You
MWS,
and our former tech Will. I can't. I bought an MWS too, but yeah, we all kind of bought it at the same time because both Boaz and Will, they were on the fence about it, and I was like, if you guys buy it, I'll buy it.
That is some pure pressure.
And they were just like, oh crap, we gotta buy it. And then they bought it, and I was like, damn it, I didn't think you guys were gonna buy it.
The running value for my MWS setup, like as a whole, with like everything included, with the mags and everything, it costs more than some of the higher end ARs out there right now.
Yes,
real guns out there.
His is pretty Gucci,
and it's sad. I will be doing a private collection once it's finished. I am still waiting on some parts that unfortunately have been impacted by the pandemic.
Yes.
So once we're able to restock on a couple of those items and I'm able to field it, I still haven't christened it yet.
Yes.
Yet.
Which I'm surprised.
So once that happens, I will be doing a private collection.
Yeah. But Kevin, how did COVID impact you for airsoft? Because you took a long break, and then when fields started to open up, you have been going to SC Village a lot, especially with like one of your friends who just got started in airsoft.
Oh yeah. So I think I already touched upon it a little bit, saying that I'm starting to play outdoors more.
Yes.
But another aspect of airsoft for me that happened during COVID was that I have a few childhood friends that started getting into airsoft too.
Which is cool.
Which is so cool because...
How old were you guys?
Oh, we were like childhood friends. I'm talking like we were friends when we were 7 years old.
Oh, dang.
Like childhood friends.
And they just got started?
They just started in airsoft. And being able to introduce them to airsoft, like, me knowing more about airsoft than they do, I can give them recommendations. I can tell them, like, you should go this route. You should stay away from this stuff. And just seeing, like, them have their eyes opened into airsoft and kind of be that, like, kid in a candy shop kind of thing. Having that experience for them was, like, it was great for me. Introducing new friends to airsoft, always great.
Yeah.
But again, now that I've introduced them to airsoft, they've been playing outdoors a lot more. So I've been playing at SC Village a bit more, and then also playing indoors with them more. So taking them to like Tac City.
Oh yeah,
like,
he just built his indoor gun.
Yeah, so it's funny because right when I introduced them to airsoft, man, I hooked them in real good.
Yeah.
Like he went balls to the wall.
He dropped like a lot of money real quick.
And again,
like
I think that is also due to the stimulus checks.
Yes.
So yes, that did help out, but. I do feel a little guilty making him. I didn't make him, but I did make him.
I mean, you recommended what you knew that worked.
Gucci.
And then he was like, okay, I need that because it works.
Right, it works.
You yourself being a friend, he's like, I'm going to trust and take your word for it.
Right.
Which is really cool.
But
But
Kevin, are you going to talk about all the money that you spent during the pandemic?
Okay, I will say I was actually a very responsible stimulus check holder.
Didn't you buy a gaming PC?
Hey, that was a necessity.
That was not a.
That was a necessity.
Didn't you buy like one of the top end graphics cards at the time too?
I got a hella good deal on it. All right.
Didn't you also
Isn't it
buy a
liquid
ton
cooling?
of?
Necessity. All right, guys.
Did you buy,
was the
buy
LED
tons,
lights
of, like, tons
necessity?
of parts
Hey.
for your outdoor gun too?
This is becoming a roast of Kevin.
Didn't you also?
That wasn't even airsoft stuff. He just like spent money.
Yeah. Didn't you also like buy or end up like getting a bunch of like new gear too? What's this like olive drab like the Ranger Green stuff?
Oh yeah, the new Speaky Bee
that
stuff.
was actually given to me.
Yeah,
by
that was a
Speaky.
gift.
Shout out Speaky Bee for sponsoring.
Okay,
this
all right. You got that for free. Okay, but that doesn't
Yeah,
excuse you from the
sponsored by
fact
Speaky
that you spent a lot of money.
Yeah. Anyways, guys. Well, that's a good thing. And something that I have seen, is that new players are coming out of the pandemic,
Oh yes.
and a lot of people that were stuck indoors at home that weren't able to go out for months. They didn't have that social engagement, even especially like younger, like children, kids, like in their teens and even like younger than that. I think being able to be social is like a big part of like development, and seeing like newer kids go out to the field. It's funny because the last time I think we played at Wildlands, a friend of mine, Clarence, he was wearing his Mayo Gang patch, and then these kids ran up to him and was, "Oh my God, the Mayo Gang! Oh, you like yourself GI too?" I was like, and then he was like, "Mayo Gang? What?" He was like, "Oh yeah," which is funny because the Mayo Gang thing, the trope came from the Roast My Build. Yeah, so I mean that was all from you guys.
Yeah, the Mayo Gang thing is pretty funny. I also have like a bunch of Mayo Gang patches if you guys are interested in getting one. I can't show it right now, but yeah, that's a real thing.
So,
Yeah, I will say though, like airsoft, if you really break it down, most of it is social.
yes,
So-
100%.
So even for me, like I mean, yeah, like I like running around shooting people and stuff, but if I get shot by somebody, I always tell them, hey, nice shot or whatever, and after the game, I'd be like, hey, like what gun are you running?
Yeah.
Or if I take a look at a piece of the kit, oh, that's a cool pouch. Like, where'd you get that? Or oh, that's a really cool helmet setup.
Yeah.
And and then so we kind of talk like that. And even for Cisco's case, when he does come on to play with us, he only plays like 2 games total.
True.
Most of the time he's like talking to other people.
No, not really. Cisco is really popular, but he does play a lot too. I remember I got placed on the opposite team and I went hunting for Cisco. But yeah, he does play a little bit too.
That's roughly
Either
it.
talking to other people, lending out guns, fixing other guns, or just
Yeah.
overall helping all the players there.
Yeah.
He's more of like the soccer mom to airsoft games. He's there to just support.
It's not that he's completely out of shape and he can't play more than 2 games.
No, that's. I mean, so when I go out, I try to make it a social event. So I try to bring out as many friends as possible, even friends that don't really have, like, don't really play. They're interested in it. They want to come out and play and experience it. So you guys have seen my car. I'll bring out like 10 to 15.
My man has an armory
guns
in his car.
I'll bring out like plate carriers, chest rigs, face gear for everyone. I have my
Yes, I can verify all of this. I have seen Cisco's trunk. Oh my god, it's a fucking armory.
dangerous bag of
Oh,
like 100
the
lipo
ticking
batteries.
time bomb, the bag.
lithium bomb that you're
I literally have like a little gun bag, like a little pistol case, and it's filled to the brim. Like it's like protruding, bulging.
We do
is
not
what I-
recommend you
Do not do that. Put it in like an ammo case or a lipo bag, please. I'm being very irresponsible, and I should probably get out of the building. But yeah, like I have all this gear and stuff, so I can make the best experience for friends, so they can get started. They can have fun, even if I'm not around. Like they can get an airsoft. Like sometimes I'll like some of my really good friends. I'll just like I have a gun that I haven't used in forever, and I'll just be like, "Yo, I don't use this. You can have this."
So
Get your own stuff.
So I will say though, just to kind of begin to wrap things up here, is that all in all, I think the sad reality of airsoft as an industry is we came out kind of very fragile.
Yes.
It's a very fragile industry because at the end of the day we're a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
and so one thing that we ask you guys to do to kind of contribute to airsoft as an industry to keep this hobby alive and to keep it thriving, coming out, one thing that we need you guys to do is that when you guys go out to play, at a field, a local field, is we need that social interaction. So we still need you guys to be out there, be nice to each other, be courteous. Be courteous to each other, be friendly. There are a lot of guys who are out there that may or may not know what they're doing because they don't have the proper guidance, or they might not have friends like Kevin that know the ins and outs of airsoft. And we need each other to grow. So we need each other to kind of build each other up, so that way we can be just as invested in the hobby. Other people to be just as invested.
Definitely.
So whenever I see kids out there running their JPCs without any plates or whatever, flapping in the wind or whatnot,
you hate that so much.
I don't like the fact that they do that, but I don't hate them for it.
Yes, of course.
So for me, I'm always trying to be nice to them, because at the end of the day, these guys are going to be the next generation Milsimers.
Oh, for sure. Or speed softers.
Yeah. So I always think in the back of my mind, if I be friendly to these guys, if I be courteous to them and whatnot, that they will one day trade out their replica JPC for a real one, and get put plates in them finally, and buy a set of multicam or whatnot. And,
yes.
Yeah, and then I'll see them in the next Milsim event.
Yeah, I will say outside of working at Airsoft GI, I have made so many good friends through just playing Airsoft. Even before I was working at GI, I have friends that I talk to today that I met at the field when I was playing with other friends or I was playing by myself. And, we just, built a friendship. We all have something in common when we're at the field, right? We all love Airsoft, and helping the community grow in that way. Do not only yourself a favor, make you feel good, but do the other player a favor by helping them out. If you're on the field, you see that they're doing something, be like, hey, keep your gun up when you cut the corner so you can shoot immediately. Or, hey, duck, they're shooting at us. Just be a little helpful to the newer players. So,
or even just a
spread the love.
Compliment. Even a compliment to even a little kid that's running a cross draw vest or something. We've all been there. We've had our beginner.
I think all of us have ran cross draw vests.
Instead of laughing at them, you'd be like, "Yo, nice cross draw vest. I used to rock that." Or something,
Yeah.
It will make their day 100%. Even if it's a stock gun, you say, "Yo, nice gun. That's a good base gun."
Yeah.
Something as simple as that will make a player's day, no matter what.
For sure.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. And then one thing that I like to do with newer players, especially if I'm out there playing, is if I'm gonna be bounding from one piece of cover to another, I always tell them, "Hey, cover me."
Or you send them out to the fire, drop fire.
No.
That's the douchebag.
That's messed up. Okay, but
no, you're not.
But I always tell the kid or whoever looks kind of they're new to the thing. I say, "Hey, cover me," and they go, "Oh, really? Okay." And I say, "Okay, I'm gonna run on 1, 2, 3, cover." And then they'll start shooting or whatever, and I run to my next piece of cover, and then I'll shout at them, "Hey, move up to me. I'll cover you." So now we have some teamwork going on.
Getting them
contributing
engaged
to the effort. So for me, I know, because it's very tempting just to kind of leave them behind because they don't know what they're doing or whatever. Or they haven't played long enough. They don't really have the game sense, so to speak, right? But I kind of have to fight against that because at the end of the day, I know better.
Yes.
That I want them to feel the same kind of rush, the same kind of excitement that I have for the sport.
Which is dope. But all right, guys, thank you for tuning in, listening to the second episode.
Before we end off, Kevin, would you like to start a tradition? Was it the controversial question?
Yes, controversial question. I'm gonna ask a controversial question, and don't have to go too into detail of what your opinions are. But after I ask it, I'll just have you guys give your very quick opinion, very short, very quick opinion, and then you guys can join in the comments too. Let us know what you think. But our very first controversial question of our very first podcast will be: should binary triggers be allowed on fields? Boaz.
Make it quick.
Oof.
Gather your thoughts. Make it quick.
I think it depends on the weapon class. So I think I would like binary triggers to be on things like SMGs.
Okay.
Maybe something that would be considered like an LMG, but I generally don't think that I would like to see, not that things should or should not be, but I just generally wouldn't like to see everyone running around like regular M4 with the binary trigger.
I kind of disagree with Boaz. I think SMGs and LMGs should have full auto because that's what they were
Oh
made
no,
for.
no, they should all have full auto.
But this is not the question.
No, yes,
Binary.
but binary.
So
Yes.
so in a case
Bring back
where
full auto.
all right, there you go.
Full auto all the way. But all right, guys, thank you guys for tuning in.
Wait. What about Kevin's opinion? What about your personal opinion?
Yeah, okay.
He has binary. Of course, he wants it.
Well, I have binary, but doesn't mean I'm going to use it all the time.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah, depending on the situation, I think binary should be allowed in certain situations. But if you're going to be a douchebag about it, then
I mean, that's always the cope, right? Like, when should full auto be allowed?
Okay, for those people who don't know what a binary trigger is, it just means that you can feather your trigger really fast to where it's giving the same effect as you shooting automatic. It's basically like the same thing. Like, you can tap your trigger fast enough to where it's literally shooting like auto.
Just like having different weapon classes, you know, because
I
at the end of
agree.
the day, everything shoots a 6mm BB, so there's nothing unique about it. So I think
What if there were a binary sniper? So the follow-up shot would be dope.
interesting, like an
let us know
SR-25.
in the comments, guys.
Yeah,
let us know in the comments below. Yeah.
Okay, so I build sniper rifles, and depending on how far your shot is, I mean the basic rules of marksmanship is still remains the same. It's if you're pulling a trigger at long distance, you're trying to not move. But if you're trying to binary trigger a sniper rifle, that's ridiculous. Like you kind of already have it because you have semi-auto DMRs. But the thing is, you're still shooting. If you're shooting from a reasonably long range with something that's inaccurate, like a 6 meter spherical ball, it's like your follow-up shot is still pretty much gonna suck. So, with that being said, yeah, I mean, binary triggers on a sniper rifle, it's not as great as it sounds. But I mean, yeah, sure, it sounds great, but when in actual practice, it's not that great.
Yeah, but I'm all for weapon class. I like weapon classes.
I agree. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Dead Box podcast. Leave your comments below, answer the question, give us your opinions. Subscribe for more content. We upload every Wednesdays, Fridays, and have live streams on Thursdays. We're going to start doing these podcast style videos more often. Yes, this suppressor microphone will change. Support the channel by going to airsoftgi.com and getting all your airsoft needs. Supporting them supports us and allows us to give back to you. Don't forget that we have our live stream giveaway gun going on right now. All you need to do is post a picture of you wearing a Mayo Gang patch to Instagram. Tag us below. I'll have the rules posted right here for Boaz to do. Check out our whole video on it. Make sure you post before the deadline, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Join the Mayo Gang.
Mail Gang. Peace.
So, alright, that's the end of that video. I just checked the deadline for that. The deadline's actually today. It's currently 4:31 Pacific time, so I think they're, that's kind of done already. Even though I have several Mayo Gang patches, I don't think I will put in a submission for that. Anyways, for all the people who are tuning in, let's jump right into the Q&A section. So let me get out of this scene and just go right to just chatting. Boop. And please support Airsoft GI at www.airsoftgi.com. This is a video from them, currently not sponsored, not affiliated in any way, but since I'm doing a video review of their stuff, might as well go check them out. They are located in Walnut, California. They do have a large selection of airsoft goods, so please check them out. And the one thing that is cool about them is they do have plenty of deals where you can buy your airsoft goods and you can use some of the codes to get a wombo combo, which will you can redeem basically I think up to 2% or 1%. It's one of the two of store credit towards your next purchase, which I believe was pretty cool. I don't know if they still have that going on, but they definitely did back in 2020. So definitely check that out. Now, jumping right into the Q&A section, guys, feel free to ask me anything about airsoft while we are on this topic. I will probably keep this open for maybe about 10 minutes or so, and I'm gonna go jump off and go exercise a little bit and get ready for the night show tonight. So, and if you guys got any questions about airsoft, or should I just talk to myself? Potato asks, "We know the what about airsoft, but do we know the why?" We know the what about airsoft. Okay, so now you know what about airsoft, but why? Um, well, there's a lot of reasons of the why. Basically, airsoft was created because people wanted to not violate TOS here because it's legal. People want to shoot each other. It's the very same reason why paintball was created. Is like they wanted to create a hobby or sport, depending on how you want to look at it, where you can. It's kind of like laser tag. Is laser tag gets boring because there's no risk involved. It's like you just get hit by a laser, a little machine on you goes, okay, you've been hit. It registers the hit. So that's why paintball and airsoft were kind of created. Is to where it's more risky. Like you can when you get hit, you'll feel it. There's more. There's like you need to give something for it. So you'll feel some sort of little bit of a tap on you or some sort of pain. But in addition to that, is people wanted to be more tactical. Like I think people watch a lot of Hollywood videos, action movies, even military training, police training tactics. The main reason airsoft was created in that sense was to because when I went into airsoft, it was called something called PTS, Professional Training Systems. Is people wanted to use airsoft as an avenue to train in like police tactics, military tactics, without having to waste ammunition. And of course, it's a lot cheaper in the video, like where you get a bag of like 5,000 BBs or so for like $5, compared to if you're gonna go buy, I don't know, 50 rounds of 9mm, you're talking about like $20 to $50. So it's a lot cheaper way. I mean, most of it, as I've said before, is weapons manipulation. Is if you get enough repetitions, the only thing that you need to now account for is the recoil. When I play airsoft, the why is I'm basically doing exactly that. I'm trying to have fun first, and second, I bring all my friends to play airsoft, kind of like what Cisco says. I try to make it into a social event, and of course, I try to pitch that if you do airsoft correctly, all of the skills that you learn in airsoft does translate over to real firearms. The video that I talk about is Liku from T Rex Arms and how he basically just kind of like flew through firearms. I might as well just show the video. Hold on, let me get on it. But the reason why I really got into airsoft is pretty much the same reason. It's just firearms training. Hold on, let me pull up my YouTube again. Boom. Okay, let me pull out that video. Alright, so this is that video where Lewis Botkin, a pretty good firearms instructor, like I've seen a lot of his content, like he knows what he's talking about. And where Aliku's, I'll just play the video. You guys can kind of, I mean, I'm not going to play all 30 minutes of it. But yeah, you can read it. Like, in June of 2019, 38 freedom loving Americans pooled their money to fund a young Japanese airsofter's dream.
Nice to meet you, dude.
Okay, so I see you there, but Potato Man just says, yeah, but force accelerators have a little more kick than airsoft. So I used to train in simunitions too. Uh, the recoil, it's not that great. And he says, I was shooting my mom's 44 lever action, and while my arm was bruised, it was dead. Yeah, but the thing about that is it's still weapons manipulation. Like when it comes to the shooting part, that's like the most useless part. like it's more like the weapons manipulation. Like you get enough repetitions to get your gun on sight, and then you press the trigger. But people don't really focus too much on the reloading part. But like all of that matters. Like you're shaving off seconds. And this is what like tier one operators do, and competition shooters. Like shooting is it's like the least thing that you need to focus on. You need to focus on stance, position, getting your gun actually sighted on target is like the biggest deal. Like everyone can press the trigger, but if you can't actually hit anything, then it's pointless.
America's dream. Dream come true. Hey guys, Lucas here, and I'm here with one of our projects that we've been working on from Japan. This is Liku. He's aimbot 1.0, but we're going to get him a little firmware update today and see what's going on. The big thing that I see a lot of guys talking about with airsoft is airsoft will never benefit shooting. While Liku here has been doing airsoft now for years, he dry fires more than every single shooter here at the range. So what we're going to find out today is, can an airsofter who's never fired a real gun, because Liku's from Japan where you can't own real firearms, can he get onto a real firearm, a Glock 19 and my BCM, and slay drills having only done airsoft? And that's what we're going to find out today. And I think once he gets the recoil figured out, some of the trigger stuff figured out, he's going to blaze it down. So you guys want to see this? You ready?
All right, let's do it.
So I'll go first. We will do 6 rounds into the top left circle.
2.10.
All right,
All right,
that's your turn. 6 rounds
6 rounds.
into that circle. Are you ready? This is his first time ever shooting a handgun. Are you ready?
Ready?
Stand by. This is 6.31. All right, so we dropped a couple low here. And that's you were aiming for this?
Left.
Yes. So what's happening is all you're doing is you're driving the gun down. So we're going to fix that. So come with me. So stand right here. All right. Go ahead and draw the pistol. Draw the pistol. Aim for the small circle. So go ahead and just take the gun. Just take the gun out. Just have it out. And you see how the trigger here has a wall? I want you to go to the wall, and then you will fire that shot. So aim at the small circle.
Small circle.
Yep, go to the wall.
Up.
Okay, see where the wall is? All right, so put the sights in that small circle, and then smooth squeeze to the rear from the wall. Wall,
Wall.
wall,
All right.
wall, from the wall. Slow. Good, wall, from the wall, wall. Good.
Reset.
Yes, on the wall. Good. On the wall. Good. Let's tighten up a little bit. Let's get on the gun a little more. So tighten up.
Tight.
Tighten up so you have less recoil. Let's do it again. Tighten up. On the wall. 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 Reload. Good. All right, let's do it again. So holster up. Now 6.
Yeah.
This right here.
All right.
All right, do it again. Are you?
Ready?
Yes. Are you ready?
Ready?
Stand by. Good.
See, the crazy thing about that is like airsofters, like the only thing that's missing is the recoil, and you can see like within I think it's only been like what 2 minutes. The video's been about 3.5 minutes. It's only been about 2 minutes of Lucas giving Liku some instruction. He's already managing the recoil a lot.
3.40. This is Liku's first time shooting a handgun. We've gotten some of that anticipation out of the way. Now he's gonna burn it down. All right.
Thanks, man.
And the thing about this is if you know stuff about firearms and weapons manipulation, you can see a lot of the things that he's learned from airsoft. Like when the first time he pulled out his pistol and he shot at the target and nothing happened, he immediately goes into like an assessed situation. Like, all right, I'm going to tap my magazine. I'm going to rack my gun because something is wrong. It's not shooting. I need to get back into the fight. And that's what Liku did. He looked at it, he tapped his magazine, and he racked his slide, and he shot, and it fired. Stuff like that. And when he did his first reload, like, you have to see how seamless that was. Magazine comes out, he slides a new one right back in without any drawback in time, and the slide goes right forward, cycling a new bullet into the chamber. It's like that stuff that people try to get to shave off seconds of getting their firearm back on target.
Okay, y'all can jump in now.
First of all, I want to just. You executed a tap rack on the first. That was insane. Good job.
Yeah, Ryan, what did you say? You said 3.2 or something?
Yeah.
That was a 3.4, yeah. It's consistent.
Good job, dude. Good job.
Thank you. Ready?
Ready.
Stand by.
All right. Now your turn. The 241 for Shotton.
So this is kind of like a monkey see, monkey do type of situation. So Lucas is leading the way, and he basically wants Liku to do the same thing. And you have to see how incredible it is for someone who's been practicing airsoft to catch up so quickly.
9, 6. All right. Now remember, wall. Are you ready?
Ready?
Stand by.
Like, if you look at his stance right now, Liku's stance isn't that great. Like, he's just kind of like standing like casual shooter. So that's why he's not. You can kind of see his upper body kind of like flinch when the gun recoils. And yeah, it's like learn by example, but at the same time, learn by example doesn't always work, unfortunately. Because like I've been at enough ranges where I would teach someone and they just aren't fast enough or safe enough to learn by example because they've had no weapons manipulation training ever. But for someone like Liku, like who's been practicing airsoft for a long time and knows the fundamentals of weapon safety, like I'm a little bit more comfortable. But I mean, obviously, if you like kind of like go back a little earlier to about right here,
Now your turn. The
To about right here.
241 for Shotton. Nice.
like Liku pulls out his firearm. You see right there? You see how his hand and his muzzle's literally pointing in the direction as Lucas. Like, and you can see this visually. Like Lucas is not on the firing line. He is in front of the firing line, where basically he's in front of Liku. He's literally getting flagged right now. Like that would be unacceptable on the range. Because there could still be a round in the chamber. So that right there, that's a safety flag.
6. All right. Now remember, wall. Are you ready?
Ready?
Stand by. Good. 3.
All right.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Stand by. Wall. On the wall. Let's do it again.
Yep.
Stand by. Good.
Yeah, there could be a possibility of a negligent discharge, and when it happens to get very big ouchie or lights out, yeah, you can either get your ear grazed off or you literally get shot in the face, and that's basically it. So that's always a big no-no. That's why in the USPSA competitions or IPSC or IDPA, it's like every time you're done with the firing course, like the referee would always come up next to you and say, "All right, slide back and show clear." It's like they want to make sure that you don't have a round in the fucking chamber because nobody wants to get shot or to have a negligent discharge go off.
508. Now, one shot.
All right.
One shot. See what the straw is. Stand by. 1, 2, 1. Good. Stand by. 102. Stand by. 9-5. So fast, slow, wall, one shot.
All right.
Stand by. 180.
Potato says, at the range I go to, everyone puts their firearms to where the barrels are. Yeah, that's standard procedure. And they have a ceasefire. Every about 15 to 30 minutes or so, there's a ceasefire call. And everybody unloads, shows clear, has their firearms, slide back or rack back, and then pointing down range. Everybody goes behind the line, stays away from their firearms. The firearms safety officer comes walking down the line, checks all the firearms, and then you guys can get the call to go pick up your target, replace target, do whatever. And then once that's done, the fire's hot again. The range is hot.
Stand by.
Just standard procedure.
155. Stand by. 133. Stand by. 139. Stand by. All right, holster up. So guys, this is Liku's first time shooting a gun. He's shooting better than most military and law enforcement people that I've shot with. And he's only used airsoft guns. But he dry fires way more than everyone here.
So that's another point of contention, is that originally I thought service members would shoot really well and have a lot of time on their firearms, until I've actually trained with them and realized that they don't really shoot any better than civilians. That's just the unfortunate truth. Like, I've shot with Army Rangers, I've shot with regular Marines, I've shot with standard 11 Bravos in the Army, I've shot with federal FBI officers, I've shot with law enforcement, you name it. And, I mean, obviously, regular civilians don't shoot that great, depending on your level of skill, but ideally you would think that service members would shoot a lot better, like considerably better, but unfortunately this is not the case. Like, they shoot just as bad as everybody else, and that's just the reality of that. So civilians, depending on how much time you put into shooting, you don't overestimate the ability of a service member.
So, airsoft for dry fire totally works, and it's translating over to firearms. So we're going to keep running some drills now, shooting carbine, pistols, shooting on the move, reloads, and we'll see what else works out.
Yep.
Oh yeah, reloading your magazines is also really fun. Really fucks up with your hands if you don't know what you're doing.
I think you're two more of his. Yeah. Well, I'll take his. Again?
Now,
Two.
1, 2. All right.
Again?
We're going to do some modding. We're going to do some carbine strategy today. All right. So we're going to start on the wall. We're going to aim at the target.
The target acquisition drills.
All right. Are you ready? Stand by. Good. Let's do it again. So on the wall. So go ahead and aim the target. You will already be on the wall.
All right.
Yep. Stand by. All right. Stand by. Good. So moving the gun nice and fast. Stand by. Good. Stand by. Stand by. All right. So now we'll do more.
Ready?
Yep. So now you'll fire and you'll move. And you'll wait. And then as soon as you hear the timer, fire and then move.
All right.
All right. Stand by. All right, holster up.
You gotta love it when your magazine doesn't come out after you hit the eject. It's kind of like just stuck there, and then you have to use your support hand just to whack out the magazine.
Good, good. All right. Now,
I say.
I'm out of a
ready.
job.
2, 2, 2.
yeah.
All right. Slow, fast.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly. All right. Stand by.
There, I think we get it about the pistol. Let's go to the rifle, and we can kind of finish that up. Yeah, Liku with the rifle is pretty much, I think, what he most works with the most, because in airsoft most people use the rifle.
Let's do it again. 6 rounds. So as you can see, the gun is kind of coming up.
Yep.
And all you're gonna do is you're gonna pull it back. Bang, pull back. Bang, pull back. Bang, pull back. Good. Much better. Let's do it again. It's 284. Let's do it again. 6 rounds.
All right.
Stand by. All right, let's do it again. We can go faster. It's a 209.
Potato Man says, I find rifles easier to shoot than handguns, in my opinion. Yeah, rifles are designed to be easier to shoot than handguns. Handguns have different training methods versus a rifle, but rifles are basically the weapon of choice for most soldiers because that's what you're going to be using most of the time, and it's easier to train with versus handguns. And basically, rifles are more lethal. They have a more lethal round depending on what caliber you use, but handguns are less lethal. It's funny. It sounds like an oxymoron, like less lethal, but it's in comparison to a rifle caliber, handguns are less lethal than rifle rounds. That's why you see like officers shoot like, I don't know, 20, 19 rounds into someone with pistol calibers, because they're not built to do damage. They're very good at poking holes, but they're not meant to do damage. Versus something like a 223 Remington or 5.56 NATO round, which their rounds are very fragmented. So if it enters into like a chest cavity, like the 5.56 round itself is going to shatter. It's going to deal damage to organs. Oh no, nobody wants to get shot. But then you say then again it depends on the handgun. Yeah, of course it does. Like if you have hollow point 9mm, which a lot of ammunition has been what's it called, developed or modernized, then like yeah, hollow point 9mm, hollow point 45 ACP, that's going to cause a lot of damage because that's like getting hit by a freight train. Because the whole thing is not to poke a little hole in you and for it to have an exit wound. Hollow points are literally built to cause as much damage as they can to your organs. On a 484 Magnum, I mean, those things don't do damage. They pierce holes in you. If you want to stop someone, you need to... because the whole point of having a firearm is to poke holes to where you're bleeding out. Obviously, if you hit a spine or a major organ, then you're fucked. But that thing doesn't incapacitate you immediately. The whole point of a firearm is you need to stop someone now to get as many rounds in, and with hollow points you can do just that, because if you're causing catastrophic damage to someone's organs with a hollow point, chances are they're going to bleed out a lot faster, and once they bleed out, then that's the end of that, right? But unfortunately, law enforcement aren't allowed to use defensive rounds. They have to use basically full metal jackets, which poke holes. Because the point, so it's like it's an oxymoron again. It's like they're not supposed to try to kill you because they technically want to keep you alive, because they consider using hollow point ammunition cruel and unusual. But the funny thing about that is, if you're going to shoot someone anyway, that you're pretty much going to kill the guy. That's the whole point. But yeah, the whole point of not using a hollow point for law enforcement is they want to be able to still salvage to keep the person alive. Versus if you're a civilian for life or death self-defense situations, you want to incapacitate the person to stop attacking you. So different philosophy, which I still find that's really kind of dumb. And of course, hollow points aren't going to go through body armor that well, because they're going to shatter before they penetrate the armor. That's why full metal jackets are better for piercing. And I'm not talking about green tips yet, but that's a whole different story.
Stand by. 172. All right, so that's his first time. I think he's got it. I think he's got it figured out. All right, let's do one round. 87. Let's do it again. Stand by. 6-4. Stand by. Good. All right.
All right, let's skip really far ahead.
Left, right.
But this is like towards the end of the day, I think, out of 2 days. So Liku has gotten pretty good.
No, I did. All right, now. 6, 1, 1. 6, 1, 1. All right. Go for a little speed right here, a little throttle control. Oh, he is. Whew. All right. Stand by. That works. That works. Stand by. Okay. 202. All right.
Yeah, I've seen Jerry Mitchell. He shoots
Are you
real
ready?
fast.
202. Stand by. 235.
Dude, I just want you to see that reload, dude. That fucking reload right there is seamless. Just there.
235. Stand by. 280. Stand by. 292. Good job. Good job. Now we'll just do 1, reload 1, same target. Yeah, same target. Stand by. 211.
See, the reason why this is impressive is because Liku has never really freaking shot real firearms before, and this is all done within like a day. It's like, it's just all based off of his training in airsoft, and a lot of it is literally the same. It's like, because I mean, most airsoft guns are 1-in-1 replicas. And yeah, I know Jerry Mitchell. He shoots real fast. Boop, boop, boop. 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 Hey, where did my thing go? There we go. But yeah, that's hold on, I'll put the video link in so you guys can go watch that on your own time. Potato Man says, I hate how you can only buy 10-round magazines in California. There was a time where you could buy 30 rounds mags for, well, you could buy those. It was during Freedom Week. You can't get them now.
It was a 168, first shot and a 4-3. Stand by.
But unfortunately, the thing about that is, like, there's so many loopholes, too. It's redonkulous. Oh, let me get rid of this. And I'll just copy and paste that. Boop. There's the link if you guys want to watch that video. You found the same video that I was just playing? Yeah, this is it's a pretty popular video. It's got freaking 217,000 likes. So definitely. And there's what? How many views? There's been 8 million views. So it's quite viewed actually. You can watch T-Rex Arm's other videos, like when Lucas talks about him playing airsoft and going to mill sims. I mean, obviously there's gonna be differences for sure, but I mean he uses it for weapons manipulation too, like pretty much what we've all been saying. And I've been playing for far longer than Lucas has, so I know the distinct differences. Yeah, there was Freedom Week. You can get the mags. Um, I'm not gonna tell other ways to get them right now on freaking Twitch stream, but you can ask me on my Discord. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows already. You also have to compensate for the window. Yeah, same thing with real steel and airsoft. But airsoft guns, the heavier BBs you use, the less likely it's affected by the wind. But then if the heavier BBs you use also needs to be compensated with a higher quality hop up unit. So there's that. And if you're like the thing about airsoft is like it's good for special operations units because most of the engagements that they do anyway are mostly door kicking. So like if you're talking about Army Rangers, what they do is they do a lot of direct action and indoor raids. Then you don't need to have all the range. So like literally it's all CQB. At which that point airsoft is highly effective because the BB doesn't need to travel super far. Unlike a conventional like infantry units out in like freaking Afghanistan, out in freaking Iraq, Baghdad, or wherever. It's like you don't need to shoot like freaking over 800 meters. At that point, like even if you're using a carbine, the chances of you hitting someone is very low at freaking engagement distance over 800, 600 meters. You're talking about like almost 1,000 meters of combat distance. Like your 5.56 is probably not going to hit anyone at that range compared to let's say a 7.62 AK caliber. Like your 5.56 is a medium mid range. At that point, it's literally just your saw gunner exchanging rounds, trying not to get shot. And of course, it's sniper warfare at that point. It's just volume of fire is no longer compensating for accuracy. It's just whoever has more ammunition will survive. But airsoft definitely is I think it's not geared for conventional warfare. It's like conventional warfare. You're talking about extended ranges because yeah, for airsoft it's like special operations for like mostly army rangers stuff, direct action. Because at those CQB ranges, it's more effective with the airsoft training. But at the same time, like for self defense stuff, your combat ranges aren't going to be freaking 800 meters or 600 meters. Like it's going to be a lot closer than that. It's like for self defense purposes. Like if you're having to engage someone at like over 300 meters, then it's probably not self defense anymore. It's not an imminent threat because it's by that time you're in a conventional war at that point. It's like for self defense, the distance we're talking about is anywhere between like 1 feet to about maybe 50 to 100 feet, about that much. Anywhere within that range is like a self defense range. So you only need to train to account for that much distance. It's like anything further than that, it's too much. It's like it's no longer imminent threat, and if you shoot at that person at that point, it's no longer self defense. Potato Man says, "I'm more of a sniper guy myself." Well, The thing I like to say about that is everybody likes to think themselves as a sniper until you start doing sniper stuff. There's this one YouTuber my mom and I watch about self-defense videos. Potato Man says, "Oh no, I have done sniper stuff." Okay, are we talking about stationary sniper stuff? Or are we talking about real combat sniper stuff? Because there's the difference between civilian sniper and real like sniper school stuff. Okay, stationary. Well, that's good. Alrighty, it is currently 5 o'clock. I am gonna go take off, exercise for a little bit, and then get on the main show. If there's any other questions, let me know now or let me know in the Discord. I'd be more than happy to answer to the best of my ability. Boop. Close that window. Alright, for all the 3 viewers that are currently checking out my stream, I hope you guys enjoyed watching through those airsoft and real steel firing videos with me, and I hope it helps you inform a little bit of, my view into airsoft and firearms. And if you got any questions, anything you want to ask me about airsoft or real steel, if you want to get a custom airsoft sniper built, let me know in the Discord. And I'm gonna go take a little walk, exercise around. Then I'll be back around 6 to 7 o'clock ish for my main stream. I'm probably going to be playing some League today. And I'll see you guys then. And thank you guys for tuning in. This is J3. I'll see you all a bit later. See you later, Potato.